What is going on, my friends? 2K25 is coming to an end. We've been reviewing a lot of the things that happened in 2K this year, talking about badges, the best heights to be in the game, the best builds, what turned out to be the meta this year in 2K25. And we're kind of continuing that theme today, talking about the most overrated badges in 2K25. We posted a video very similar to this. Actually, we posted this exact video months and months ago, about 3.5 months ago, and it needed to be updated. With this game coming to a close, I officially understand what this game is about. I've been using a ton of different builds this year, from locks to power forward to point guards to shooting guard to centers, and I officially understand what are the most overrated badges this year. Hopefully these badges can kind of get a nice little tune-up for next year, if these badges still exist next year. It seems like they always kind of throw in new badges every year, and it seemed like this year they combined a lot of badges. So if you enjoy the content that we are doing over here, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 3,000 subs. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really playing this game that much anymore. I mean, it's June. I got to vet 2, so I feel like I beat the game essentially, and I've just been grinding this game for 9 months. So I'm gonna just gear up for 2K26, and once that game comes out, we're gonna get right back to our grind. So let me know if I get anything wrong. What's overrated to you in this game? I'm very curious to know. I always love talking to you guys about the game. You guys always reach out in my DMs on Twitter, so I have a lot of fun talking about the game. So let me know in the comments if I got anything right or wrong, what you agree with, what you disagree with. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the first badge that I want to talk about, and I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion, it's going to be Mini Marksman. I recently posted a video talking about the best heights to be in 2K, and I said the 6'2 was a good height because if you wanted Mini Marksman at all, 6'2 is the best height to be. Now, in my opinion, if I'm a guard or a point guard, I'm going to make a 6'4 because the contest system was so horrendous this year that I don't know how good Mini Marksman really was. Like I said, I would rather be 6'4 in the first place just because I'm taller. But you would think that Mini Marksman would be this great badge. A lot of people wanted to be 5'9 this year in the beginning of the game because of this badge. The shorter builds were back because of Mini Marksman. But 6'4, you can't even get Mini Marksman. And so to me, if everyone wants to be 6'4, Mini Marksman must not be that good. Every good, great point guard I came across this year, whether it was Spam, Dat Boy Dimes, Young Precise, I've played against all these guys this year, and every single one of them was on a 6'4 point guard or a 6'4 shooting guard. So I just don't really think this badge was very good then. You know what I'm saying? I think this badge stunk. It came back this year. I don't know which 2K it was in, maybe 23 or 22 or 21. You guys would have to let me know, but this badge just nearly wasn't good enough. I think it's very, very overrated. I don't know if it was in the list I made a couple months ago, but this badge stunk. I don't know how good it was. So to me, it's going to be the first overrated badge that we talk about in 2K25. The next badge that I want to talk about that kind of piggybacks off of what I just said, but Challenger this year was severely overrated. You could just shoot over a lock with 99 perimeter if they had it on Legend, and it didn't even register sometimes, it felt like, which is crazy considering they added these legendary badges. And we're used to Hoff badges. Hoff badges, it felt like every year still were very, very good, and at least somewhat much better than gold badges. So adding legendary badges was this big thing that they were selling to us this year. And when it came to defensively, whether it was Challenger or Pick Dodger or whatever, it just didn't feel any different. When I have Challenger on Legend, I shouldn't have to jump at the shot every single time. I understand, like, hand down, man down, or like I'm taller than you, so you should be able to shoot over me. But to that, I say I have Challenger on Legend. Improves effectiveness of well-timed contests against perimeter shooters. I feel like that eliminates me having to jump at you. Like, I feel like I can stand there, put a hand up, and it's tight coverage because I'm there. But that just wasn't the case this year. Like I said, a lot of people were 6'4 guards because of this. The contest didn't register as much on taller builds, which I can get. I can definitely, you know, agree with that. It just seemed like it wasn't good enough. The contest system wasn't good enough. They went from like light pressure yellows to, what was it? Just slightly pressure. I don't know what it was, but they made a patch in the beginning of the year that turned it from light pressure to weak is what it was. And last year I played 2K24 last week, and if I was contested 38%, like it felt different than 17%. So I don't know what they need to do with the contest system. If they just brought back the 2K24 contest system, I think that would be a massive upgrade. And I think that we would all enjoy that more. But let me know if you agree with that Challenger was one of the more overrated badges. To me, it was a top 3 overrated badge in 2K25 this year. One that we probably didn't talk about last video enough was Dimemer. I mean, you could probably argue that Dimemer is always going to be overrated. There's just not a big enough boost from, you know, let's say bronze to legend, all things considered. I mean, yes, Dimemer, you know, activates when you're in a catch and shoot scenario, or, you know, you get the ball, take a couple, maybe 1 or 2 dribbles and then shoot. Dimemer will activate. Pretty much any time that you get an assist, Dimer's going to activate. I just don't think that there's a big enough boost. I played a lot of Pro-Am this year as a point guard. I didn't notice a difference between gold to Hall of Fame. I didn't notice a difference between Hall of Fame to legend. So when I say that, it's like, is there a difference between gold and legend Dimer? I don't know. You know, I'm not gonna look up statistics on it. I'd rather just get in the game and feel the difference between a gold and a legend badge, especially with Dimer, where like I'm a point guard. I like to get my teammates involved, and you know, if you're just trying to go for this badge at a 98 pass, like it's not worth it. You could badge +1 it at 92 to legend, but is it even worth badge +1ing in the first place? So now I'm just wasting a badge +1 on a badge that may not even get that big of a boost. So I'm not going to sit here and say like Dimer is overrated because it doesn't work. I definitely think it works. I just don't think there's a big enough boost from each tier level, from silver to gold, gold to Hoff to legend. You know, each time I go up a badge level, I should get maybe not a significant boost each time it goes up, but at some point I got to get a noticeable boost. And I just don't think Dimer was doing that this year at all, in my opinion. The next one I think is worth talking about, and I mean, I think it's safe to say that this is always overrated, but Unpluckable just, I don't want to say it didn't work, but there was no difference from gold to Hoff or Hoff to legend. It's the same thing with Dimer. It's like Dimer just doesn't feel any different from gold to legend, just like Unpluckable. People are not going to just pluck me all the time and it's going to pop up. You know, it should pop up when the ball is hanging out there above my hip and they try to steal it. It just didn't seem like it protected me from that. Like I said, I was a point guard this year in 2K25, and I was never just getting ripped just standing there. Well, that's not true. I was getting ripped just standing there, which is probably why I think it's overrated. But when the ball is like, I'm doing a crossover or an escape move with Kemba Walker and the ball is hanging out there, it probably got stolen 8 out of 10 times. And, you know, it's the same thing with the contest system. Like, yes, if the ball is hanging out there, then yeah, you should probably be able to steal it. But to that, I say, then what's the point of me going for a badge this high if it doesn't work when that's happening? I feel like that is exactly what the badge is for. It's for someone like me who isn't good at dribbling at all, and I want to, you know, combo something up. I want to put the ball in front of me because I want to do an escape. I want to do a crossover. I want to do a Steve Francis, whatever that's called, size up. And I just can't do it because I get ripped. So I definitely think that this is on the list of most overrated badge. I don't know where it ranks in the top 5, but to me, Unpluckable this year was definitely a top 5 overrated badge in 2K25. The last overrated badge that I'll talk about in NBA 2K25 is gonna be Posterizer. Now, I say this because I think last year it was broken. Posterizer last year was unbelievable. It's the best year for dunking that I can remember in 2K history was last year. In Pro-Am, at least, everyone was running a 6'6", 94 driving dunk build that was, if it had any space to the rim, it was going to dunk. And I definitely think it needed to be nerfed based off of what it was like last year, but I feel like they nerfed it too much. I feel like for a badge, if you need it at 93, a 93 driving dunk and an 80 vertical for it to be like the sweet spot for it, that's expensive. I mean, 93 dunk isn't crazy expensive, but combine that with needing an 80 vertical, I mean, that's definitely tough. I definitely think, like I said, it needed to be nerfed from last year, but I feel like they kind of killed it this year. There wasn't a lot of people making these really athletic dunking builds. In Pro-Am, when we played against a 5-out, like, it was kind of easy to stop. The best teams to play in Pro-Am this year was definitely a pick and roll offense. I feel like this was the best year for it, just because a lot of people were making 6'4" point guards with 99 midi and 99 3, and it was, with the contest system being as bad as it was, I don't think people were really like, oh, I'm gonna go dunk the ball, when your midi, if you make 3 middies in a row from 18 feet, you're gonna get heat check. So there wasn't really an incentive to get Posterizer. I always believe that 2 points is 2 points, but like I said, last year dunk was crazy. So going into this year, I made a dunk with 93 driving dunk, 80 vertical, and it wasn't very good. I feel like it got better after a few months of the game, but even then it wasn't very great. They needed to nerf it. I keep saying that, my apologies, but they definitely needed to. I just think they nerfed it way too much. It kind of got to the point where you just didn't even want it. Like, you can go for your 65 dunk down here, maybe 73, just because like you get better animations, not dunking on people, but any sort of contact coming your way, you can put this on bronze and it would pop up, and that's good. You benefited from it, but having it at a 93 just didn't feel very good this year. I've never had a build at 96, so maybe you can tell me, oh, 96 driving dunk or 99 dunk was crazy, what are you talking about? And I say, all right, well, I had a build at 89. Why is that not very good? 89 is 10 attributes away from being maxed out. I feel like if you're 10 attributes away from being maxed out, it should be good. I can't remember catching one body with an 89 driving dunk this year. So I feel like those are the 5 most overrated badges in 2K this year. I feel like it was Posterizer. Mini Marksman was overrated to me, considering the hype that was around it. Dimers could always be on this list. I don't know if it made it last time. Challenger, I mean, the contest system was cheeks. And then Unpluckable. I think those are the 5 most overrated badges. We needed to update this list, especially considering how long ago we made that list originally. So let me know what I got right. Let me know what I got wrong. I'm very curious to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions, and I value your thoughts and opinions, when it comes to videos like this. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Again, leave a like if you enjoy this content. Sub up if you're new. We're going to get back after it in 2K26 with the gameplays and everything. It's just kind of hard to play right now considering it's June, and to be honest with you, I'd rather be outside than playing this game anymore. We're 10 months into it. So again, sub up if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Peace.